Assassin's Creed Origins is definitely a fan favorite, and you don't need to explore much in the Assassin's Creed community to find this out. For the most part, Assassin's Creed Origins is a proper balance between the older style and the newer style. Although there are some things that certainly could have been improved, I'm not here to talk about the game at large. I'm mostly going to focus on Bayek as a character and why I think he's one of the best written in the entire franchise. Bayek of Siwa is a Medjay from ancient Egypt, and in Assassin's Creed Origins, he's one of the first to help design the framework of what we see as the Assassin's Brotherhood in the more recent timelines. At the beginning, they were referred to as the Hidden Ones. As is pretty clear from this, Bayek's backstory is a brilliantly crafted one, with a lot of different elements to it that help to shape the future of the Assassins as well as his own life. There are a few elements that I have seen throughout my many years of writing books that helps to showcase why a character is good. These are the basis on which I judge characters pretty much. Firstly, you need to have motivation. Characters that are well written need to have some sort of motivation that propels their actions. For Bayek, we've got the perfect level of motivation. His son was brutally murdered by a group of cultists. With Bayek being a loving father, we got to see his interactions with his son through flashbacks and other dialogue memories. When we understand the relationship and the dynamic that Bayek had with his son, we can only infer that his son's murder would obviously shatter his worldview and cause him to go on this path of revenge to destroy the cult. The next element is strengths and weaknesses. Realistically, no human being is without these two elements whatsoever. Weaknesses and flaws allow for the character to make mistakes, and that helps to shape their behavior and personality. It's what defines the idea of a rounded character. Bayek has both strengths and weaknesses, and that's on the money of what he needs. He's a strong assassin and doesn't mind getting brutal in order to finish the job. He's a good person with a strong heart, and he cares a lot about his son and his wife Aya. However, he can be so consumed with rage sometimes that he may not see the full picture of the situation he might be in. Another element would be making the character feel natural, and this can be done through actions, behaviors, and dialogue. Now, please don't misunderstand me here when I say this. Not every character needs to be written in a certain way to feel natural. For instance, when I write my books, I like to inject psychopathology in them. So one character I've written happens to be a psychopath. Obviously, this isn't a normal person at any level, but you can craft their interactions with the world around them in order to make the character interesting and engaging. That's still naturalizing the character, however. Bayek is a perfect example of a character that feels very natural. At no point did I feel disconnected from him in the way he was written. He was funny, kind-hearted, giving, protecting, and had a beautiful relationship with his wife that made their love feel genuine and not contrived. His dedication to his religion, his people, and his family helps shape his interactions and does make him feel human. He doesn't feel like a video game character, and that's spot-on writing. That's exactly what I personally was hoping to see in a later iteration like Valhalla, but unfortunately Valhalla gave us a bland Eivor that did feel very stiff and unnatural at points. Bayek is an angry person driven by revenge. That's backed up by what happened with his son. I feel like anybody in his position would be consumed with anger, sadness, and a desire for revenge. After all, it's only human, and if he acted with callousness or immediate forgiveness, then there would have been something terribly wrong with the writing. As an assassin, Bayek is absolutely perfect in terms of the creed. Firstly, let's break down the tenets of the creed. First, assassins are ordered to stay their blade from the flesh of the innocent. This is essentially what Bayek does best. He's a Medjay, which is basically a protector, similar to what you would call a police officer in our modern world. He helps the needy, he protects the weak, and he obtains justice. And he does not hurt the innocent, and he fights evil. The second tenet would be to hide in plain sight. Bayek is perfect for this. Seeing that he has to go around and hunt the cultists, he basically creates the foundation for hiding in plain sight and working through difficult situations against mass amounts of enemies in order to get the job done successfully. I personally didn't really feel like Origins promoted that head-on combat that we saw in Odyssey and Valhalla over stealth, because stealth was infinitely more effective than going head-on in terms of combat. And finally, never compromise the Brotherhood. Obviously, there wasn't much of a brotherhood then, so we don't really need to look into this point too much, but we can probably infer from this that Bayek wouldn't compromise the brotherhood. Comparing Bayek to other characters in the franchise, he's a good blend between stoic, serious, angry, and funny. He's like a good combination between Altair, Connor, and Ezio in a sense. If you've been watching me for some time, it's not a secret that Altair and Ezio are my favorites in the series, so to see their personalities fairly reflected properly in Bayek was welcomed by me. In terms of Assassin's Creed Origins, the plot is clearly defined and linear even with its open world. You know exactly what the main story is, you know exactly what you're hunting down. And with this, there's not too much being stuffed into Bayek's character story that makes it overwhelming. That allows for a better focus to be put on Bayek as a character and prevent confusion. Now for one of the most iconic parts about Assassin's Creed, the Hidden Blade. We did see how the Hidden Blade came to be a popular feature of the Hidden Ones and later the Brotherhood in this title. It's a very interesting way of showcasing how the ritual, followed by nearly every assassin until Altair changed the blade's design, was actually a result of a mistake by Bayek. It's something that somehow feels significant in a way. Sure, cutting your finger off for a blade might seem strange, but Bayek was willing to sacrifice his own life in order to get the job done. Sacrificing a finger means dedication, and it means honoring Bayek's dedications as well. At least this is how I interpreted it. Bayek also benefited from a great voice actor, which is definitely something that adds into the immersion of the character. Beyond just how the character is written, seeing as video games are multimedia, sound is a big part of how we can enjoy a character. Bayek's voice actor is named Abubakar Salim, and he honestly nails emotions and the power of speech in his dialogue. Genuine props to the actor, because without that proper understanding of emotion and tone, we'd probably have a different experience with Origins. One of the critique points I've noticed about Bayek is that his story is just a revenge story. Which, yes, it is. As I've mentioned in my Assassin's Creed Unity analysis, revenge plots are pretty frequent in video games. It's basically the best way to deliver things that people often enjoy in video games. Revenge plots allow for violence and combat, which is obviously a selling point. Revenge plots are also great skeletons for making stories for multimedia massive projects like video games. They're used all the time in movies and books because revenge is psychologically something that many human beings can understand in a character. We can empathize with the person seeking revenge. At the end of the day, most stories really boil down are revenge stories, so this isn't really a problem. Bayek certainly deserved a few titles like Ezio to give his story and his character more weight and understanding. We all really love Ezio not just because he was a great character, but also because he was given 3 full games to be developed. I guarantee that if other assassins in the franchise got that much time, we'd be attached to them a lot as well. Despite his limited time in the franchise, Bayek still managed to have such a well-written character that I'm making this video about him. Honestly, overall, Assassin's Creed Origins is one of the best games I've ever played. It's quite literally one of the most beautifully written, well-made, well-designed, and exciting Assassin's Creed games I've personally played. It's just a wonderful title that I can't really get over. So yes, Bayek of Siwa is an amazing character, and he's genuinely one of the best in the series. The raw rage of a father as he searches for his son's killers is unmatched as a revenge plot. I love it, and the writers did it right. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed that video, feel free to leave a like and comment down below what you thought about Bayek. Also, don't forget to subscribe with notifications set to all. Check out my military sci-fi series, the link is in the description, and check out my newspaper. The links to everything are always in the description. Thanks again, and Symbiosis out.